Hello everybody and welcome, I am Boom, and we're continuing with the fossil Pokemon that we started a couple weeks ago. With that, we're gonna do Omanyte this week, and with any luck, we'll be doing Kabuto next week. Of the two, Kabuto is my favorite, with Kabutops being one of my favorite fossil Pokemon. As a brief overview of the rules, I can only use Omanyte in battle, but I can use other Pokemon outside of battle for HM use, and while I can't use items in battle, items outside of battle is perfectly fine. I gotta tell you, after doing the Nuzlocke, going back down to one Pokemon is rough. However, we go ahead and pick Omanyte, and that lets our rival get Bulbasaur, which I think will probably be the hardest one for us to face. We name our little guy Cthulhu, and it's time for his opening debut. With an adamant nature, it increases attack and lowers special attack, which is alright enough. Most moves we'll use that require special will hopefully at least get a stab bonus with that. We also have Shell Armor for an ability, so we don't have to worry about critical hits of any kind, which is great since the rival's Ivysaur typically knows Razor Leaf for a good portion of the game. We start with the moves Constrict and Withdraw, and while Constrict isn't as bad as it was in Gen 1 with a low speed, it's still a pretty horrible move. It takes a lot of turns, but we do finally take out Bulbasaur to win us the lab battle. With the lab battle out of the way, we do the beginning game stuff before the world ever so slightly opens up. Problem is, Constrict is actually so weak that we spend nearly an hour slogging our way through Viridian Forest, and we actually lose to the bug catchers more than once. Between poison damage from Weedle and the fact that they just hit a little bit harder than we do, we're getting taken down pretty frequently. We have to get up to level 13 just to effectively make it through the forest. Now, normally I do provide rare candies, but with these early levels, I just make sure to go ahead and grind in the forest and fight the optional trainers along the way. With the optional rival fight at level 13, we can take down both Pidgey and Bulbasaur to a few bites, and then finally make our way to Brock. With Brock, I don't think we would have been able to take his team down otherwise, even with resisting his attacks. By the time we reach Brock, we're level 14 and Geodude flinches from the first bite and goes down to the second, also leveling us up to 15. Onix does outspeed us and uses Bind, and we retaliate with Bite to bring it to half, then Red to the next shot. It's not doing too much damage with Tackle, and we take it down one turn later to win us the battle and the first badge. With a lot weaker Pokemon, we're typically overleveled by this time, so anytime that we're able to make it past Brock without being level 20 or higher, I'm pretty happy. Mount Moon isn't too bad given the fact that we do have Bite, and we take the Dome Fossil to prove we're defiant. From there, we have to make a choice because the rival has a leveled up Bulbasaur that does know a grass move. On the other hand, water-based attacks can still do a decent amount of damage to us. With that being said, we try the rival fight first because at the very least it would open up a lot of battles before we get to Misty. But the rival fight goes about as well as you'd expect, as we use Bite on Pidgeotto, then swap to Water Gun. The rival then withdraws Pidgeotto, and a single Vine Whip nearly takes us out, and the next one finishes off the little HP that we have remaining. So with that, we go ahead and try Misty. Staryu is first, and Bite does about half as Water Pulse hits hard, and we take it out next turn. When Starmie is out, Water Pulse takes us all the way down to 7 HP, but thankfully, we critical hit our Bite attack to take it down in one shot to win us the battle, the second badge, and the TM Water Pulse, which we immediately use to replace Water Gun. Unfortunately, it's still rough to get past this particular rival fight, since every time we make it past Pidgeotto, we immediately get taken down by Bulbasaur's Vine Whip. It can take us down in 2 shots, and hits us more often than not with Sleep Powder, and finishes us off pretty quickly. Eventually, we have to bite the bullet and get to level 25, where we take Pidgeotto out in 1 shot, and then with Bulbasaur, we take it to above half with Bite. It flinches, finally misses the Sleep Powder, and we can take it down. Abra can't fight back, so that's an easy win, and then Rattata goes down quickly as well to win us the rival battle. With a pretty decent moveset at our disposal, we're able to make our way through the bridge, Bill's area, and then even the ship. In no time at all, it's actually time to fight the rival again, and his starter is getting even scarier with every encounter. But first we have to take out the sand-attacking monster that is Pidgeotto, and thankfully it just uses Quick Attack, allowing us to one-shot it with Rock Tomb. By now, we're pretty high level given our prior struggles, and when Ivysaur comes out, we open with Bite to not even do half. Thankfully, Sleep Powder misses, and the next Bite takes it to red, flinches it, and that allows us to go ahead and take it out. With the scariest Mon out of the way, we Bite Kadabra for a clean one-shot as Disable misses us, and with Raticate, we get Tail Whipped, Retaliate with Water Pulse, and that takes it down and wins us the battle. Thankfully, due to our rock typing, I don't think we'll have too much of an issue, but even Shell Armor and rock typing can't protect me from the RNG nightmare that is the Trash Can puzzle. But you know what can help me? By subscribing to the channel, and if you're feeling extra frisky, leave a comment about the video. With that being said and out of the way, let's see how we do about fighting Lieutenant Surge. Voltorb is first, and we get hit with Sonic Boom and miss Rock Tomb. Screech hits us, and we take it out with Bite. Pikachu also goes down to Bite, and when Raichu comes out, it opens with Double Team. We miss the second Water Pulse, then go down to 2 Shockwaves. That was unexpected. I thought this would be a breeze. It does take a few attempts before Voltorb misses Screech, so we take it and the Pikachu out in one hit. With Raichu, we hit Water Pulse, confuse it, miss Bite, Surge full heals to cure the confusion, and then we take it out to win. It was a weird battle. With 3 badges out of the way, we're able to head through the Dark Cave and make our way to Lavender Town. As always, our first order of business is taking down Giovanni, and with him being a ground-type trainer as we go along, he'll probably get easier. But let's see how we fare the first time against him. Giovanni first sends out Onix, and we use Water Pulse to take it out in one shot. Next up is Kangaskhan, and we use Water Pulse, tanking a soft Mega Punch. We do confuse it, and it smacks itself as we use Mud Shot for a sad amount of damage. We swap to Bite and Flinch, then use Rock Tomb before taking it down with Bite. Rhyhorn comes out, we use Water Pulse to take it out and win the fight against Giovanni. Now, recently, I've been doing my best to go back and fight Erica, but given the fact that her grass moves do 4 times damage, we head back to Pokemon Tower. We can grab Ice Beam before we go to fight her, but I'd rather have the extra levels for a slightly higher speed and special. With the rival tower fight, we use Rock Tomb against Pidgeotto and take it out in one shot. Next up is Ivysaur, where we bite it to yellow, then get put to sleep. Razor Leaf takes us to 12, and then we get taken down next turn. So due to this, we go ahead, run back to Celadon, grab Ice Beam earlier than I expected, and then head back to the rival. With round 2, Pidgeotto goes down in a single Ice Beam, and when Ivysaur comes out, we continue with this move to take it down in one shot. Gyarados, we use Bite to take it to about 3/4, Ice Beam to take it to low red, and then take it out next turn. Kadabra goes down to a single Bite, and Growlithe goes down to a Water Pulse to win us the battle. As always, the rest of the tower is pretty easy, so we finish up there and head back to Erica. For the first time ever, Erica is probably going to be one of the scarier gym leaders. Erica first sends out Victory Bell, and we do outspeed, which isn't super surprising given our level, and we take it out in one shot. Next up is Tangela, and we take it out in one shot as well. Last is Vileplume, and a final Ice Beam takes it down to win us the battle. I'm gonna be honest, with our level, I was still kind of expecting to have to try this a couple different times. After completing the Safari Zone, we can go ahead and go fight Koga. Coughing is first, and we take it down with Water Pulse. Muck is out, and we take about a third of its health, but unfortunately it poisons us with Sludge. Between the fact that Muck is a fairly bulky Pokemon, and the fact that Koga likes to heal up, it doesn't take long for the poison damage to rack up and easily take us down. And that went a little bit worse than I had hoped for. But even after multiple attempts, we're still getting wrecked. We had one attempt where we managed to freeze Muck for about 5 turns. Then Koga healed up, it unfroze, and immediately poisoned us, and we went down again. With that loss, we decide to head to Saffron City and try to take on the rival fight, or at the very least, take advantage of leveling up through some of the grunts, grabbing some vitamins, and getting our little fossil boy just a smidge stronger. With that, we at least want to try the rival battle inside Silphco, and Pidgeot gets sent out and uses Feather Dance, so we can use Ice Beam to take it out in one shot. Next up is Venusaur, and if this is anything like last time, and yeah, we're immediately down to Razor Leaf. With no way of being able to beat the rival, we go ahead and head back to Koga with a few levels and vitamins under our belt. Coughing is an easy one-shot with Ice Beam, and Muck, we use Water Pulse to confuse it, and then Ice Beam it down the rest of the way. The next coughing also goes down, and when wheezing comes out, we take it to half and then take it down before the poison damage can finish us off, winning us a very narrow victory. But that victory is actually all I needed, because while I doubt I can take on the rival, there's someone that I have no doubt in being able to take down. We immediately head to Blaine, and I gotta admit, it's things like this that makes me adore Pokemon challenges, because whenever we play, with every Pokemon that we choose, we have to adopt slightly new strategies and think on our feet as best as we can, and in this case, moving on to the 7th gym before we even take out the 6th is probably our best bet. With Blaine, Growlithe is first and lowers our attack, but Ancient Power takes it to red as he heals up. We do get flinched from Bite and take it down next turn, and get the Omni Boost, letting us take out Arcanine in 2 hits, but our health is horrid. Ponyta goes down to Water Pulse, and we get hit with a soft Fire Blast from Rapidash, but do manage to take it out. Truthfully, I didn't think it would be that close, but being able to quad resist fire was a huge part in us not having to do this battle multiple times. So, with another badge and a little more experience, we head back to Saffron and attempt the rival fight again, and Venusaur still takes us out in one shot. It takes a while, and I mean a while, but finally, at level 60, we can take Pidgeot out in 2 Ancient Powers and gets us an Omni Boost. Due to the Omni Boost, we now outspeed Venusaur and use Ice Beam to drop it in one shot, which the boost was needed for. Next up, we have Gyarados, and we use Ancient Power again to take it to a little above half, get hit with Dragon Rage, and then use Ice Beam to take it out the rest of the way. Alakazam is an easy one-shot with Bite, and then last up we have Growlithe, and with Water Pulse it's an easy one-shot to win the battle and finally be able to move on. With the last, second to last, Giovanni fight, he first sends out Nidorino, and Water Pulse takes it to red. Horn Attack does very little before we take it out. Nidoqueen is out, and we use Ice Beam to take it down to red, but we do get the freeze. Nidoqueen spends a turn frozen, and then we take it out with Bite. Next is Rhyhorn, and we get Water Pulse to take it out in one shot. Kangaskhan is last, and we use Ancient Power. Mega Punch does a small bit of damage to us, and then a critical hit, Ancient Power, knocks it out for the win. With that, we can finally move on to the back half of the game, which involves going to Sabrina next. With our slow and steady boy, I think we'll be alright. Kadabra is first and uses Calm Mind because it's outrageous speed, but goes down to a single bite. Mr. Mime also meets the same fate, and Venomoth gets hit hard by Ice Beam and taken down to red. Psybeam does a little chip, but we do another Ice Beam to go ahead and take it down. Last up is Alakazam, who Calm Minds, and we use Bite to take it to yellow. Psychic brings us all the way down to 18 HP before we take it out to barely win the battle. After that, we can go ahead and take down Giovanni, which won't be too hard given our absurd type advantage. Rhyhorn is first and goes down immediately to Water Pulse. The next and better leveled Rhyhorn is also out and meets the same fate. Dugtrio comes out and obviously outspeeds because of course it does, but we survive with plenty of HP to spare and take it down. Nidoqueen comes out and immediately goes down, and last up is Nidoking, and we're able to take it out with the hard-hitting Water Pulse to win us the last of the 8 badges. Now, this particular battle with the last rival before the Elite Four, we do end up having to try a couple times, but eventually, we end up getting 2 back-to-back Omni Boosts against Pidgeot, so we immediately outspeed Venusaur and take it down with a single Ice Beam. Next is Rhyhorn, and with Water Pulse, we can take it down in one shot. Gyarados comes out, and we start using Ancient Power again to take it below half, get Leered, and then take it down next turn with a final Ancient Power. Growlithe is up, and we use Water Pulse to take it down, and then finally Alakazam we can outspeed with our double boost and take it down in a single bite to win the pre-Elite Four battle and be able to go ahead and move on. First up to the Elite Four is going to be Lorelei, and we get Surf to above half and strike back with Ancient Power. Dugong sets up Hail, and we continue to use Ancient Power after the heal and take it down and get the boost. With Cloyster, it stalls some time with Protect before we use an Ice Beam and Water Pulse to take it down. Next is Slowbro, and we use Bite and take it down as the Hail thankfully stops. We take down Lapras with 1 Ancient Power, flinch Jinx with Bite, and manage to take it out for the next turn for a very close first try victory. Next up is Bruno, and we don't outspeed Onyx, so we do get hit hard with Earthquake before taking it down. Unfortunately, due to the damage we've already taken, when the next Onyx comes out, it's able to drop us to yellow. This makes it very easy for Hitmonchan to completely wreck us, and unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, we have to level up far too many times against Bruno. We do try equipping the Quick Claw to make it a little bit easier, or try to avoid a couple attacks here and there, but more often than not, the Hitmonchan is able to outspeed us, and even if we do hit it, we can't take it out in one hit at this level. It takes us all the way to 85 before we can take it down, and it even takes us about a half dozen attempts before we're able to make a dent in his team. By now, we finally outspeed both of the Onyx, and we're able to take them down with a single Water Pulse each. When Hitmonchan comes out, we can take it down in a single Water Pulse, but that's due to a critical hit. And with Hitmonlee, it smacks itself to let us take it down. Machamp uses Scary Face, and I think we're about to flop due to Cross Chop, but we do manage to survive it, manage to take it out, and are able to move on to Agatha. With Agatha, it does take a few tries, but it isn't because anything is overly complicated. It's mostly just trying to avoid the amount of double teams that Gengar typically has the ability to place. If it's not that, it's due to Curse from Haunter, but we finally break past on this attempt and take Gengar out in one turn. Golbat confuses us and we take it down with Ice Beam. When Haunter is out, we can take it down with Bite, and then we get a small chip of damage from Shadow Ball, and the Berry heals the Gengar out of full restore range. With Arbok, we get a lucky freeze with Ice Beam, and then take it out to win the third Elite Four battle. With Lance, Gyarados outspeeds and flinches us with the first Bite, then we take it down with Ancient Power and get the Omni Boost. From there, we're basically able to one-shot sweep the rest of his team with Ice Beam. Now, Aerodactyl does outspeed and use Ancient Power, and get the boost, which was horrifying, but we still end up taking it out in one shot to win the Elite Four, and allow us to continue to take on the rival one last time. For the rival, we open up with Ancient Power, and the rival withdraws Pidgey, as we barely tap Rhydon with Ancient Power, but we get the boost. That allows us to take it out with Water Pulse, and then when Venusaur comes out, we can take it out in one hit, and then Pidgeot comes back out to get hit with Ancient Power, and then Green heals up. From there, it's a small stall battle with a couple potions, but after 2 heals, he lets the bird go down, and then Alakazam goes down to a single bite. With Gyarados, we freeze it with Ice Beam, allowing us to take it out, and then last up is Arcanine, who goes down to a single Water Pulse to win us the challenge. I'll be honest, that challenge went a lot better than I expected, but it was a lot harder against the rival than what we usually have. Don't get me wrong, the rival can usually wreck us, but having a single Mon just be super effective against us 4 times and be able to absolutely annihilate us is something that we haven't had before. I am excited to be able to go ahead and do the next run with Kabuto. And I have a couple more ideas of things that I want to do for challenges. I was actually, because I'm obsessed with this, I was thinking about it while driving. I want to go ahead and look into some of the movesets that Pokemon had in Pokemon Stadium and make that my moveset for the challenge. So even though it's a Charizard, it may only have Ember, Fly, Swords Dance, and Tail Whip. Let me know if you think something like that would be interesting to you, and, as always, if you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.